What if I told you that after 30 days of eating like the world's longest living people, I discovered something that completely changed my relationship with food forever? I'm about to take you on my Mediterranean diet journey, where I'll share not just the incredible physical changes I experienced, but the one surprising discovery that happened in week 3 that I never saw coming. From olive oil obsessions to Greek island grocery hauls, we're diving deep into what really happens when you commit to this lifestyle. But stick around until the end, because the most shocking revelation isn't what you think it is, and it might just change how you view healthy eating entirely. I promise you, this story captures the true appeal of the Mediterranean lifestyle, sprinkled with plenty of humor and relatable moments. You'll laugh, you'll learn, and you might even get inspired to raid your pantry. My primary motivation for embarking on this epic quest. Let's say my quarantine eating habits had become a little too comfortable, and my genes were starting to stage a silent protest. It was time for a change, but I wanted one that felt like a hug, not a punishment. So I braced myself for what I anticipated would be 2 weeks of culinary chaos, some truly questionable cooking experiments, and hopefully a few unexpected joys along the way. Spoiler alert, I got all 3 and then some. Before we delve into the details of my kitchen adventures, let's briefly outline the key principles of this remarkable diet. It's not about deprivation, it's about abundance and flavor. First and foremost, it's primarily plant-based, which means your plate will be bursting with colorful goodness. Think vibrant vegetables, hearty whole grains, and an endless array of delicious fruits. It also features a high amount of healthy fats, such as olive oil, along with plenty of nuts and legumes. These are your allies for feeling full and satisfied, not deprived. And here's the part that usually gets everyone's attention: the crucial allowance of wine. Yes, you heard that right. A glass of red wine with dinner is often part of the tradition, and I was certainly not going to argue with that. Beyond the food, the Mediterranean diet emphasizes the importance of mindful eating. It's about savoring your meals, paying attention to your body's signals, and genuinely enjoying the experience. It also vigorously promotes shared meals, turning eating into a social and communal event. Food tastes better when shared with loved ones. Of course, there's a significant emphasis on avoiding processed foods, sugary drinks, and unhealthy fats. It's about choosing real whole ingredients that nourish your body. What I quickly discovered is that this diet is surprisingly enjoyable and incredibly sustainable. It doesn't feel like a temporary fix. It feels like a delicious way of life. My Mediterranean adventure kicked off with what I now affectionately call the great planning disaster of 2023. I had grand visions, but my execution was, shall we say, a work in progress. Meal prep felt like trying to herd cats while wearing a blindfold. I quickly realized that my usual wing-it approach to cooking needed a serious upgrade for this new lifestyle. My first breakfast was a truly humorous muesli concoction. I optimistically piled on every fruit and nut I could find, resulting in a bowl that looked more like a small, edible mountain. It was delicious, but it was a learning curve in portion control. Then came the shopping expedition, which was an event in itself. My cart overflowed with every vegetable imaginable, from vibrant bell peppers to leafy greens. I felt like a farmer preparing for winter, but in a good way. The turning point, the moment I truly fell in love, was my first dinner with pasta, pesto, and wine. It was simple, flavorful, and utterly satisfying. This wasn't a diet. This was a feast. The subsequent days were filled with various culinary experiments. I whipped up creamy avocado toast for breakfast, perfected a sheet pan chicken and veggie dinner, and even attempted my homemade hummus. Each meal was a discovery. My relationship with the diet evolved from cautious curiosity to genuine affection. I started looking forward to cooking, experimenting with new flavors, and feeling good about the food I was eating. But life, as it always does, threw some curveballs. During this 14-day journey, I faced some real-life challenges, including the heartbreaking loss of a beloved pet. It was a tough time, to say the least. Surprisingly, the structure and comfort of the Mediterranean diet provided a much-needed anchor during those difficult days. Focusing on nourishing meals became a small act of self-care. Even amidst the challenges, there was room for flexibility and creativity. I had a pizza adventure, making a whole wheat crust topped with fresh veggies and a sprinkle of feta. And my homemade yogurt bark dessert was a revelation, sweet, tangy, and guilt-free. As the 14 days drew to a close, I was genuinely amazed by the positive impact this diet had on both my physical and mental well-being. It was more than just food, it was a holistic shift. One of the most noticeable changes was the weight loss. I shed a few pounds without feeling like I was constantly battling hunger or cravings. It felt effortless, which is a word I rarely associate with dieting. Beyond the numbers on the scale, my energy levels soared. I felt lighter, more vibrant, and genuinely good about my food choices. The afternoon slump became a distant memory. I can wholeheartedly recommend the Mediterranean diet to you. It's not a fad. It's a sustainable, delicious, and advantageous way to eat and live. The best part? There's no guilt involved. You're not cutting out entire food groups or feeling deprived. You're embracing a lifestyle that celebrates fresh ingredients, mindful eating, and the joy of food. My final humorous advice from this adventure: always double-check your oven temperature before attempting to bake anything. Let's say some of my early crispy creations were a little too crispy. Learn from my mistakes. If you enjoyed hearing about my culinary chaos and triumphs, and you're ready to embark on your delicious journey, then please consider subscribing to my channel. Let's explore more healthy and hilarious adventures together.